Woo! Up close and personal. Hey friends, this is Ashley with Uncommon Roots Homestead, and today we are over at the land, and I'm gonna start mapping out the rest of our potager garden, which is gonna be the garden that we primarily use to feed our family. And I think that's gonna be located here at the front of the property. So I'm gonna map it out and see how many more beds we need for the spring. And yeah, we'll go from there. This is very formal of me. I'm marking out in the snow where I want these to be. It's a very scientific method. I do have a measure. I'm gonna measure, but I'm a very visual person. That's why I actually wanted to come out here. I wanted to kind of measure how much space I had and then draw it out when I got home so I could see exactly how I want to set this up. But we have snow, so I'm gonna draw it out with my feet here and see how many beds I can fit in this space, because I think I can fit kind of a lot. And it's like 3 o'clock right now in the afternoon in the winter, and obviously we're at like the shortest days of the year right now, so it is a little shaded. But in the summer it wasn't. It was pretty sunny over here. So let's see. I'm gonna keep mapping this out and then I'll show you what it looks like. So I've gone ahead and mapped it out. It got a little out of hand over here, but you can roughly see what I'm thinking. And again, this is definitely providing shade right now, but it's like 3:30 right now. So in the summer, that would mean that it would start getting shade probably closer to like 6:30. And it's light so much earlier. I don't think that'll be a problem. But also Kevin and I talked about maybe taking that tree down. So if it does provide too much shade, we'll just take it down. So that tree would be gone. This tree right here is actually not doing so well, so we might take that one down. This is a hibiscus, a hibiscus tree. So I want to keep that. So what I'm thinking is these are 3-foot by 6-foot beds. I've got 3 of them. They're spaced 3 feet apart, which was the amount of space that I wanted to have in the middle for a trellis, like arch trellises. So what I'm thinking is spacing 3 feet apart and doing a 15-foot bed here, and then 3 feet apart and doing 3 more 6-foot beds, 3 more 6-foot beds, and then on this side doing a 15-foot bed that goes from that corner to that corner, and then the other side doing 2 more of those, so 2 more 15-foot beds over there. I could also do a second 15-foot bed here, but because of this tree, because of that tree, I think that in the morning, there's a little bit of shade over here, so I just don't want to get into the problem that I'm having this year in our backyard garden, which is that I was not cognizant of my shade enough. So even though it's going to get really good afternoon sun, I might be talking myself out of it. Let me know. Do you think I should do 2 15-foot beds on each side? So that would give me 5 15-foot beds and 9 6-foot beds, which I think is a good amount of starting space for our personal garden. So this would be the garden that we eat out of, what we grow for us. And this would not include any squashes or melons. I want to do those in ground, and I'm actually I think what I'm going to do is just do them in ground out here. I'm trying to see if we even need to fence this in. Let me turn you guys around. All right, the sun is miserable. Let me walk you to the shade. We'll walk through my footprints. This is what I've been doing. If you see the time lapse of this, I was just trying to stay in my own footprints so I could see the vision. I'm so visual. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but it's I just like need to see it and see if it's what I'm like wanting it to be. Okay, that's much better. So what I'm thinking is that we might be able to get away with not fencing this front garden in. I know that's a gamble. Our whole property is fenced in with barbed wire. We do have deer, but they don't usually come to the front of the property. So the main road is right down there, probably like 250 feet from where I am right now. So a lot, like most of the animals that we have don't come up here. Our animals aren't going to be up here. Our animals will be down in the pasture. So I think I'm going to have Kevin build me the beds before the spring. And I'm going to try next season to start out without it fenced in. And if we need to throw up a fence, we'll throw up something kind of temporary this year and then do something a little bit more permanent. But what I'm thinking is if I have all of those as raised bed space, I'll do my raised bed vegetables in there. Right now in the 3 in the middle, I have 2 beds of garlic and 1 bed of onions. Or no, opposite. I have 2 beds of onions and 1 bed of garlic. The snow is melting, which is always a little bit creepy when it like a huge chunk falls behind you. And then I have in front of the garage over here, there's a bed that Kevin built me. Where am I going? It's right there. Gosh, the depth. Am I ever going to get the depth perception? Right here, in this area, Kevin built another bed and I have garlic in there right now. And then there's actually 2 blueberry plants right there. And then I have a passion fruit vine on that trellis. Kevin still obviously needs to finish painting. He didn't finish that project, but yeah, so I'm trying to like I would like it visually if that wasn't like boxed off, but if I do have to do a fence, I'll do like a shorter picket fence just to probably keep deer out, honestly. And then over here you can see is where we started with our like mini orchard. So we have let's see, there's 2 apple trees. So there's like a line of trees and then there's kind of like a triangle of trees. So we have in total 6 apple trees, 2 pear trees, 3 plum trees that are planted here right now. They're close together, so they're only 10 to 11 feet apart, but we did that intentionally. So a lot of times when you do like a backyard orchard or like just a family orchard, you can space really close together. You can space as close to like 18 inches together. It's just a matter of how heavily you prune. So obviously if we had given each of those trees 20 feet instead of 10, we would be able to let them get a lot bigger. What we'll do is we'll just heavily prune them and we'll keep them manageable. But I wanted more variety than anything else. I wasn't looking for like high yield from each tree because we're gonna have to prune them. So they're not gonna give us as much as they, possibly could. But we'll keep them pruned and we'll get a good variety. So this front garden is really just for our consumption. And then Kevin is going to take a page out of my book and he is going to start gardening, and his goal is to build a market garden down in the original space that when we first did the vision walk, I said, this is going to be my huge garden. Well, it's still going to be a huge garden, but I am relinquishing control of that garden to Kevin. This is something that, working the land and farming the land is something he's really passionate about, and he's really excited to try it, and a market garden is a huge part of that, and so he wants to own that project. So he's going to take that space as the garden, and because I love gardening, it's been a huge part of my life. It's how I stay sane with how busy I am. I still want a place that I can garden and not kind of mess with his like high yield production area, and so that's why I'm going to take this front part of the property. And this area gets really good sun. I don't think we're going to have any problems. That's why we chose to put the trees up here. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. So what I'm thinking, going back to the squash and the melons, so obviously this is not a ton of space, and I really like to try new things. We don't have a huge family. We're a family of 4 right now. It's not like we need 17 of every variety that I plant, but I do like to plant a lot of different varieties and try new things, and I want to make sure I'm optimizing my space. I am going to do some in-ground stuff. So I have like this square between that 15-foot bed and those 15-foot beds, this space right here. that, I think that'll put maybe some like raspberries there. I have the 2 blueberry bushes over here, and then I actually have 4 more blueberry bushes right between this tree and the truck. They're lining the little driveway right there. So we're gonna have a lot of blueberries. I'm gonna put maybe some raspberries. We'll still do other areas where our goal is like high production, but this is just kind of the fun space, like my space where it doesn't matter. Like nobody else is gonna be banking on my garlic working out, or if I plant things too closely together. And then it makes it manageable for me as well, because I do work full time and I am pretty busy during the week. I don't have a lot of time to come out and, cultivate a huge garden. That would be really, really hard, especially because we want a milk cow, and there are things like that I want to have a part in too. So that's kind of the vision for the garden for next year. It's funny. Every winter I always think like how fitting that I'm sitting here and dreaming about this space while it's covered in snow and it's buried, and all of the things that are yet to come are so dormant. But I think it's like such a good, beautiful rest that God gives us, because if it were green right now and the weather were wonderful, I would not have the patience to really think through how I want this built and what I want this to look like long term. I would be, it's in my personality to just jump quick, and I would just want to go and figure it out later. And if it wasn't exactly what I wanted, I would just live with it. And God gives us this like intentional resting period, which I think is really cool. So anyways, that's what we're doing. I'm gonna go see what Kevin and the kids are doing. I might show you. I'm gonna guess that Isla is on the trampoline that Santa brought her. But yeah, let's go see. I'll show you the chickens too. Let's go check on the chickens. Not really made for the snow.
Put the off-road tires on there.
That's because this is a cheap one.
We're going to see a chicken.
We are going to see the chickens. There they are. Okay, so this is not our permanent chicken coop setup. I think we showed you guys in another video. Kevin's building that fence back there, and we're having we actually had a shed built and converted to a chicken coop. So that should be delivered. When's that being delivered? Next couple weeks?
Hopefully within the next few weeks.
Yeah. And so they'll move. We're diving. So they'll move over there, and Kevin will finish the fence, but they were getting way too big. They're getting way too big for our garage. So we had to come up with a solution. So what we did is we bought this 10 by 10. It's actually a dog kennel. And it's got a roof, and we moved them out here. So it's obviously, we've had our coldest. We're gonna. She wants us to go in. She's on another level today. It's been our coldest, 2 days that we've had in years. Like it's been down, it was like 12 degrees this morning, which is not super ideal for brand new chickens who just moved.
It was the first week we moved first week we moved the chickens, and of course we had coldest
like
couple days in years.
A 12-degree night. So what Kevin did on the inside, I'll show you. I'll go ahead and flip you around and show you what he did.
Come on.
Okay.
Ah, oh.
You stay out here, bud.
What?
Daddy's gonna show our friends how he set it up.
So we had this kind of kennel type thing in the garage already. If you guys watched the other video, you'd recognize that. So I put that in the back corner. I had some like panels, like roof, temporary plastic panels here. I lined the sides with that to keep some of the wind out. And then next to this little hutch thing here, I put bales of hay, just stack those in to protect them from wind, and put a tarp over the top. And then as the snow kind of came in, it kind of sat on top of the tarp and created a little bit of a igloo for them. So it should be nice and warm inside. I stuffed it with hay inside too to keep them warm. They're about 10 weeks old right now, so they're not full grown by any means. So they do have all their feathers, which if you're going to move chickens outside, make sure they have all their feathers, especially if you're moving in the winter. And then we filled some water and some food.
Isla, which one's your favorite?
Choose Linda.
Which one's Chickalinda?
That one.
That one? Sorry, there's 2 waters and 1 feeder?
1 feeder.
No. Hold me quick.
She's a little afraid sometimes. They're Isla. They're totally fine. Okay.
The water was freezing, so I have to come pretty much every day and break it up and put new water in if we need to.
Hold me. Mommy, hold me.
Isla, I am holding you. This is life with a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
This is it. But yeah, so they're all in here. They're all doing really well. They seem surprisingly happy. I'm not gonna lie. Did you think that we were maybe gonna lose some when it was so cold?
I was optimistic, but it got way colder than I thought it would, and we got way more snow than we thought we would. We got probably 6 inches overnight the other night. With
we evicted her.
we got more snow and it got way colder than I anticipated. So I was a little nervous, but thankfully everything's been fine. They've actually seemed really happy, a lot happier than they were in the garage. So
yeah, definitely.
that makes us happy.
Yeah, they're loving like being able to scratch, and the benefit is, let me flip you around. So the benefit is something that I was telling you guys about when I was showing you the potager garden up front, is that Kevin's market garden that I was telling you about is going to be right here. And so the goal is to use this structure. Actually, I think you're going to add wheels on the back, and we'll use this structure for meat birds, and we'll actually use it to fertilize this land for the market garden, because we'll probably start that not 2021 season, but 2022.
Hopefully, yeah. At least on a small scale.
Well, our toddler is I don't want to use the word attacking, but it doesn't seem like she's doing anything good with the baby over there. So I think this is where we leave you, friends. This is real life. It is not always rainbow and butterflies, but we're excited, and the chickens are happy, and we're doing some garden planning, and we can't wait to see what's next.
We're staying above water.
We are surviving.
Treading.
Well, thanks for joining us today, friends. Hope that you enjoy these glimpses into our life. We're thankful for you. If you haven't already, find us on Instagram at Uncommon Roots Homestead.
Go back.
We'll see you later.